I'm
How are you holding up, buddy?
doing good. I'm doing good. It's a bit of a quick story. I wanted to kind of like fill time until 8 on. So I mentioned many of the things that that I have been a pretty crazy fan of, and one of them is known to many that I like, the Super Best Friends, aka Castle Super Beast, aka Pat, Wooly, Matt, and Liam. They're fun times. And kind of the reason I got into them was because I had heard of them. An ex was a super fan of them, got me back into them at the same time that that ex, and Gecko were getting me into Dark Souls. And one of the first things I watched in my reintroduction to them was their Dark Souls playthrough. I like them a lot, specifically because they remind me of my old friends who I needed to break up with.
Used to break up with.
I used to break up with. No, friends that I had for a very long time and kind of had to break up with for reasons. Don't worry about it. And interestingly, the Super Best Friends did in fact break up at a certain point and become separate content creators, and also like two of them became Castle Super Beast, which is the main thing that I watch. The thing that happened this week is actually very interesting to me. So this actually the thing was so shocking that it kind of sent the fan base into a tizzy. But I actually really respected it. I thought it was very interesting based on what I know about these content creators. So Pat, he's kind of like the volatile one, possibly like the I don't know. He's the gag character to everyone else's straight man, if you will. He's he plays a character online, I would say, but it's a lot of his real self is in that character. He is a bit introverted, a lot antisocial, has been very like upfront about living with and coping with and dealing with OCD. And it's just kind of like identifies as a hype beast crazy person. As I previously identified myself as a hype beast, you see why I kind of like enjoy his show. But on top of that, he has also stated that he's a very private person, despite being a professional online like video game streamer, podcaster, internet personality for 10 solid years, his full-time job. So what happened this week was the podcast happens every Monday. It happened on Wednesday this week. And when they turned on the camera, Pat revealed to his co-host, Wooly, and friend of 15, 20 years, the fucking forever, right? Yeah, so I moved from Quebec to British Columbia, across the fucking continent. And also, my fiance and I have been married for months. We just didn't tell anyone. So, number one, that was an entertaining stunt to do as a internet content creator. But number two, and this is the part that it really resonates with me, is that he has said several times that he is a very private person. And this felt like kind of a flex, where he has very successfully drawn a hard line between here is me on the internet, and he actually drew that line pretty far, far forward, where it's just like there's a lot of himself on the internet. Hence, like, being upfront about OCD, like actual diagnosed OCD. And doing like a podcast series or stream series about, I'm going to play games that actually trigger my OCD so that I can face it and focus on it. And he calls it his mind goblins. That's kind of like what the community refers to it as. And, yeah, he does put a lot of his real self out there, but, this felt like he was gonna, like, I'm gonna keep huge chunks of my life decisions and big life-changing stuff to myself until I want to put it out there. And didn't even tell one of his closest friends and coworker and co-host about it. And it's just and now it's out, and it was a big reveal, and fans loved it. It's like, oh my god, how did you what? Respect. Fucking respect for like drawing that line, holding that line, and being very deliberate about what you are on the internet and what you are in your real life. I think it's fucking cool that he did that.